happened like that? It took me a minute to notice it. It was holding me back. It's time to move on to bigger things. Can't live in the past. Moving on to future me. I wonder who she will be. I can't help but think that there is something more to find, more to life than what I have right here, right now. Used to call it stable, now I call it stuck. Letting go, yeah, that's tough, but maybe it's all for the better and it's meant to be. It's gonna hurt at first, but then eventually it's gonna seem like it was always meant to be. It was always meant to be. Oh, I think it's meant to be. Scary at first when you change, but it's better than being stuck here in your ways. Comfortable, ain't that comfortable no more. Don't wanna go back to how it was before. I can't help but think that there is something more to find, more to life than what I have right here, right now. Used to call it stable, now I call it stuck.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Liz and today I'm going to show you guys a little bit into my work from home morning routine and how I kind of like set up myself for a productive work from home day. I do live alone, so sometimes working from home can also be a little bit boring, so I find ways to like entertain myself throughout the day so it's not just me and literally just quiet in the house. Also tend to work from home, I want to say around 2 times a week is the most I've ever done it, and that depending on what I have to do in the office. And sometimes if I have things to do on like a Monday or like a Friday, or if I have in-person meeting, then I'll go in, but I try not to schedule those on those days. So typically my Mondays and Fridays are normally like a work from home day, and if I feel like I want to go in, then I can go in. So it's quite flexible in that sense, which I'm so happy about. I am just having like a cup of tea. I've already done my skincare, my hair, just fix up my hair. I like to make sure that my skincare and my hair is at least somewhat sorted when I'm working from home. It just helps me to be a little bit more productive, you know, and it also makes me feel good and a little bit put together even though I'm working from home. I'm also wearing like a matching tracksuit as well, which is also super comfy for like working from home in. I'm going to make my breakfast before I start my day because otherwise I can't work being hungry. Sometimes I try to do it and just drink like a cup of tea and then I'll eat after, but there's just so much I can do on like an empty stomach. So I'm gonna make a breakfast and kind of like enjoy that before I go into the work day. Normally as well, if I'm like working in the office, I try to like boil a couple of eggs and bring it to the office with me. So I kind of like eat breakfast in the morning. I still try to like eat breakfast when I'm working from home as well, just to kind of like mimic those habits when I'm in the office so I can be as productive. So I've got a cup of ginger tea here and I like to use 2 gingers in my tea. It just make it a little bit stronger for me. So you see I put 2 ginger tea bag in because it just make it a little bit more stronger, you know. For breakfast this morning, I think I'm going to do some eggs. Shocker. Do I want boiled or scrambled eggs? I think I'm gonna do some scrambled eggs. I'm also gonna make some turkey rashers. I'm gonna make a good proper breakfast, so let's get into it. Actually, before we do, I need to take my vitamins, so let's do that as well.
It's gonna hurt at first, but then eventually it's gonna.
For my vitamins, I'm going to be taking the apple cider vinegar from Freestyle. I do have a little bit left in this, but I also have like a new container. So once it's done, I can take it. I've been taking this for some time now and I'm pretty much very consistent with them. It's kind of like the first thing I grab for in the morning because it's kind of like a sweet treat to me. Oh, that's 3. It's kind of like a sweet treat to me. I just love having it the first thing in the morning. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I'll be grabbing this and not grabbing my rest of my vitamins because this is so easy because it's like a gummy and you know how sure sugar gets you sometimes. So I just grab for this. I always take this, even though sometimes I might miss my vitamins. I always take these ones in the morning because it's just easy, you know. And then for my vitamins, I'm going to take this multi-female vitamin from Freestyle. I just started taking these, so I can't really give much on it yet. But as for the apple cider vinegar, this and the green juice really do help with bloating and just digestion and the gut in general. So I'm going to take 2 of the multivitamin And then I have my other vitamins in here, a omega-3. This is magnesium, vitamin D, calcium. It's mixed with some other stuff, but to be completely honest with you, I need to change this out and kind of like get each stuff individually, because the amount that's in here is not enough. And I'm gonna take my iron tablet. Normally they say take one and then another one later, and then I'm just gonna take both of them together.
It's always meant to be. It was always meant to be. Thought that this was who I was, that I couldn't change that much. Didn't feel like I was strong, but I'm glad that I was wrong. Think I knew it all along. This would never be enough. Now I see that I've evolved, going after what I want. Thought that this was who I was, that I couldn't change that much. Didn't feel like I was strong, but I'm glad that I was wrong. Think I knew it all along. This would never be enough. Now I see that I've evolved, going after what I want. Maybe it's all for the better and it's meant to.
I'm by my workstation now, about to start working for the day, and I've kind of like created this little spot here so I can work. I did do a little bit of rearranging in my house. Before this desk was kind of like by the window, I've kind of like switched things up a little bit. This is what the workstation is looking like. I did get like a monitor from work, and I do have my work laptop here, and I just connect it to the screen so you can mirror the screen, so I can have two screens to kind of like work from. And then I've got my light here just to give you some light. And then yeah, this is pretty much what it looks like. I still do use this desk as kind of like a makeup station, but to be fair, I never really do makeup here, and I was gonna get rid of this desk because I'm like, I need it to be clutter free, but I'm like, when I do work from home, I do need something to kind of like work from, instead of having to work on a sofa or work on the bed or work on the floor. At least I have like this dedicated spot to like know that I'm going to be working from here. Sometimes, of course, if I want to go in the sofa, I'll just go in the sofa, but I try not to. I try to just keep the work in this little section here, so I can kind of like separate my space. But especially because I do live in a studio where I can separate the spaces, where I can, then I will. And this is one of the ways that I do it. You guys might have questions like, what the heck do you do for work? I think I've pretty much mentioned on here before, maybe like once, what I do for work. But basically, it's always hard for me to explain what I do for work because I don't just do one thing for work. But in a nutshell, I kind of do like property management. I work in like a property sector, so we're talking about manage any form of projects that going in the building, manage the building itself, manage relationships, do compliance. We get involved with like health and safety, finance, like budget for those buildings, like everything that you can think of to run and operate office building. That's kind of like under the title that I do. But yeah, it's always hard to explain because it's never just managing a property. It's more than just that. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I do enjoy what I do because it's a variety. I don't just do one thing. Because I do work from home and I do live alone, it can be a little bit boring because you don't really have that much people to talk to when you're around, right? So it can be just quiet, while when I'm at work, it's completely different. I do try and find ways to kind of like entertain myself. And some of the ways that I do that is I either have something running in the background on the TV, or I have a podcast playing, or I'm just playing some music or something. And that way I kind of like fill the white noise with something in the background. And sometimes I just leave it as that, depending on what type of work I'm doing. If I'm doing like intense work, I'm not gonna lie, I do like to be in the peace and quiet so I can like focus my 100% energy towards the work. I do enjoy my own company as well, so working from home, sometimes I really don't mind it if I'm the only one here. I just find ways to entertain myself like I normally do. I rarely tend to go out like outside when I'm working, but what I try to do though is take my 1 hour lunch break. I find that it's easy when you're working from home to just stay in one place and do work, but when I'm working in the office, the way I'm up all the time, I'm walking sites, I don't be sitting down for that long, so I don't need to do that when I'm home, just so I can kind of like clear my mind and feel like I'm not just working throughout the whole day. And sometimes it's good to take breaks because it also helps you to be a little bit more productive when you do sit down to do more work again. So I do try to remind myself to do those. So that's a tip for you guys. If you do work from home, make sure that you're taking regular breaks throughout the day. And because if you do work in the office, you kind of go have chats with your colleague, you kind of go make tea throughout the day. So do take regular breaks throughout the day. And I do not look at my computer during that time. I do have my work phone, so if anything emergency, people just call me. but I really try to like take that 1 hour lunch break. And during that time, even though I do work a 9 to 5, I also do content creation as well. So I try to catch up on like my content and stuff. So whether that be responding to comments, answering emails, doing some editing, doing filming if I need to, then I will do that during that time as well. But yeah, take regular breaks and make sure you start out your lunch hour. I find that's really helpful in terms of like helping me to be productive throughout the day. Well, I'm going to end this video here. If you guys did enjoy, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's something that you're curious about and you want to know more about. Do let me know in the comment section. If you reach this far, give me a little yellow heart. I just have a look at the flowers there, it's yellow. Give me a little yellow heart in the comments and I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. Bye.